In today's video, we're going to continue our coverage on one of my most anticipated projects ever, but sadly it's not coming out until 2027, Godzilla X Kong 3, aka SuperNova. Why do all these Hollywood studios come up with the worst titles ever? It's like Spider-Man: A Brand New Day, that's also a really bad title. It's like when they come up with bad logos. Do better, studios. But anyway, let's not go on a tangent. So Godzilla X Kong 3 is still currently shooting over in Australia, and there are some new leaks going around, and seeing as I'm the leak guy, I thought we'd go over them because they do coincide with a lot of the other stuff. So if you are new around here, what the freaking hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, MonsterVerse, pop culture based content. Would really appreciate that. So are we getting Space Ghidorah in this movie? Let me know down below. Who do you want the villain to be? Also check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful face, and check us out on Twitter SGG, and also check us out on TikTok Warstu, which I'll be posting on there very, very soon. I actually haven't done this intro in well over a week now, so that's interesting. So the new plot leak reads like this. A good friend of mine recently had the opportunity to appear as a background extra portraying a scientist type character in the up and coming blockbuster Godzilla X Kong SuperNova. This is actually quite realistic. I've never really, I haven't said this for a while on the channel. I actually am technically part of a casting agency, so I am likely to believe this. Whilst on set, he managed to catch a glimpse of what appeared to be concept art. Heard some plot details, though, behind the scenes, through chatter, so on and so forth. He shared a few details with me. So obviously, if you do work on movies, and even if you attend early events, you are technically supposed to sign a non-disclosure agreement. But if this is true, hypothetically speaking, him telling his friend, and his friend posting on the internet, and if we run anything from the last 2-3 years of so-called fake-ass scoopers, is most of their information comes from 4chan and Reddit anyway. So like I keep telling you lads, most information that spawns from Reddit and 4chan are more likely to be true than your so-called wannabe scooper. So they went on to say, keep this in mind, everything he told me is secondhand information. I'm not a huge Godzilla fan myself, so I may not fully grasp the deeper implication of the information in relation to the franchise or previous MonsterVerse films. Now, why I'm covering this is because I find it interesting, but also I can coincide it with other information that I may already know, or other information that's already gone through. Right? In the scene he participated in, he played a scientist evacuating a high security facility under attack by a giant monster. Other scientists were on high tech computers scrambling to coordinates with their other global outposts as a similar incident appeared to be happening worldwide. There was talk of a lost communication with a moon base. Now, we've spoken about this moon concept multiple times on the channel, but it is interesting, scrambling to coordinates with other global outposts. Now, we've seen there is an image in a trailer, meaning a video clip footage, where we see multiple locations being attacked by something or some kind of mass awakening we don't actually know. It goes on to say, some of the other information he picked up may have been distorted through games of telephone, or possibly even intentionally misinformed, circulated amongst cast and crew. But there was talk of supernova forms being planned for a few fan favorite monsters, including Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and a smaller, goofier looking lizard monster, which was described as looking like a midget version of Godzilla after he went from crawling on 4 legs to awkwardly waddling upright on 2. It also sported its own blue laser beam. Supernova forms. Screams merchandise. And as we know, based on the information that I've put out there and from, novelization, is if you watch Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, Godzilla got a new form from Tiamat's lair from the solar wind energy, which was the new form, the pink form that he got in the last movie. So it's not too far-fetched that there would be supernova forms or different forms for this movie. Whether they're all going to be getting their own new form, that's something different. So that's interesting. He also briefly saw blueprints of what looked like a giant robot. Whilst he didn't get a good look, he said it had more humanoid built, and he heard that its body could separate and attach to King Kong. Not sure how that's supposed to work. So as we know, been rumored for the longest time ever. In fact, we might have even been one of the first people to talk about this. There are supposed to be some human mechanized Titans, anti-Titans, if you like. It's rumored that Dan Stevens' character potentially might wear something like this. It's also rumored that Matthew Monahan's character might wear something like this. In fact, he kind of teased that he potentially did. So it's also worth saying that this information comes out after other information comes out. So it could have just been written in a way to make you think that previous leaks are already true. But that's neither here or there. Towards the end of shooting, he heard rumors about the film taking the monsters to space and was told Godzilla would battle on the moon. And it's also worth saying that boy Warstu has been putting images, and I've been talking about this for probably over a few weeks now. So yeah, I believe this part is true. The going to the moon part is true. But it's like I've said before, this solo wind energy that allowed Godzilla to kind of evolve into some kind of different form, different Saiyan in anime terms. Who's behind that? And these signals that we've been hearing about in other plot leaks is if Mothra is coming from space to warn of something or some kind of space Ghidorah, Gojo kind of threat, I'm using anime terms loosely here, I'm basically just saying that some mega powerful OP force. Who's behind it all? So them going to space is pretty realistic in my opinion. SuperNova, such a bad title still. Goes on to say the main villain was kept top secret, but based on everything he's seen and heard, it sounded like the movie was going to be absolutely freaking wild. Now, when it comes to these Titans and so on and so forth, a lot of people seem to think it is Space Godzilla. Could be Gagan, it could be Bagan, it could be Super Godzilla, but a lot of people, including the internet, seem to think that it's going to be Space Godzilla. I really hope it would be. And seeing as Matthew Monahan, or however you say it, I can't actually remember the actor's name, something like that. He did hashtag Space Godzilla versus Godzilla. It would make a lot of sense, but like I've said previously, would Legendary Pictures pay Toho to license out Space Godzilla? Because as I've said before, Warner Bros. Have nothing to do with this movie. They're just a distributor. It's like Dune Part 2. For instance, it would make a lot of sense if we had a completely different Titan, almost like the Shimo kind of character that we had that was kind of a new Titan. But as we've said, you know, technically Godzilla could mutate into a version of Space Godzilla via some DNA coming down before. Remember, we've had King Ghidorah, who was from space, the three-headed Services Lady Titan that came from space. Maybe whoever is coming down, DNA somehow mutates with our, you know, MonsterVerse Godzilla. Maybe they could do that way. I just can't see him paying an absolute freaking bag to use Space Godzilla, but they have licensed out characters before. I just can't see him personally doing it here. And everyone says, yo, there's so much evidence in that teaser trailer alone. No, you're not. You're just a TikToker that knows absolutely nothing and you jump on it. And no, that wasn't Space Godzilla roaring in the tease trailer when they revealed that they were in production. Not even freaking close to it. So this new information, is it viable? I don't know. It lines up with a lot of other stuff we've said before previously. Would make a lot of sense. Taking the monster to space does seem like there could be mass awakenings. There is an image in the trailer where you see a lot of incidents happening at the exact same time. They're all freaking going to space. I've been teasing it for a while. So yeah, I believe this could be very viable. Not saying it is, but take it with a pinch of salt. But like always, guys, check us out on Instagram. Warstu. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and I'll catch you in another video, guys. Very soon. Catch you later.